First of all, I just want to say thank you guys for being here. Thank you for caring about the church. Thank you for loving the church. Thank you for supporting the church. And I just want to say these words is thank you for a church that is united, a church that cares for each other, a church that loves each other, but a church that is really based on unity. And so I just want to say thank you. Thank you for all of that. Before we even get started in regards to a vision meeting at all, or not even a vision meeting, but even like say a business meeting or whatever it is, we do want to give our mission statement, our purpose statement, and also our vision statement. We want it to be known consistently all the way through, because whenever we do something, we want to do it in the context of this mission. That's what we want to do. You will see that we plagiarized our mission statement. It says this: make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Now, it's not plagiarism if you give credit to where it came from. It came from the words of God. Okay, so it's not plagiarism because we just gave it where it came from. It worked for them. We want it to work for us. We just took it. That's exactly what we want to do. Purpose, what's our purpose statement? Why be original? To love God with all your heart, strength, soul, strength, and mind, and to love others as ourselves. It worked for them. And if Scripture literally even says that there's only 2 commandments, and you'll complete the 10, and everything will be fulfilled, this is what we want to do. We're passionate about it. When I'm preaching, when we're working, when we're praying, when we're making decisions in regard to money, we're passionate about, we want to love God first and foremost. We want to love God, and we want to tell the world that we love God, and that relationship is alive, that relationship is rich, and that relationship is well. And then we don't love God if we don't love others, so we want to pour that out of our lives too. We want to love others. Vision statement, we intend, now this is a little bit more not so original, but I'll just tell you what we just took the last 2 and then kind of worked it in. We intend building up disciples and bringing people to Christ, laboring in prayer, by embracing the word, by Christ-centered ministries, by the gospel spoken on our lips, and by the fruit of the Spirit that is shining in our lives. That's where we'd like to see our church and our people be at. Laboring in prayer, embracing the word, taking the word and say, this is the word of God. We want to grab it all. We want to embrace it. We want it in our system. I mean, in the Bible, they talked about swallowing it. They went into their system. Christ-centered ministries. We believe that the word of God is Christ-centered. It's all about Jesus. And so our goal is to proclaim Jesus to the world, because proclaiming Jesus to the world is proclaiming God to the world, because Jesus is the radiance of God's glory and the exact representation of his nature. And so that's kind of our vision statement that is there. When we look at our church, people do ask, how do you function as a church? I was in seminary. And that question went around our classroom. So, all right, there's a lot of churches out there that function, differently. Let's get the concepts of how you function. And one person would be called, say, okay, we function this way. Another church says, okay, we function this way. And a congregational vote, and we've got the membership, and we got, just different things. And so all these went across, and I was praying that nobody would ask me. And the reason why is because I don't think we were designed to function any way that everybody else is functioning. The way that we function has worked through the years, has been healthy through the years, and is what we believe is even biblical. The way that we function is pastorally led and elder affirmed. And so what that takes place is that, where is the church going? How does the church work? What is the church going to do? Where is the church? Those kind of things. The pastor, the lead pastor, which would be me, would come up with all the ideas. And I'll tell you where I get the ideas. Is number one, I get them from the Word of God, and I get them from you, watching you. What does the Bible want? And I try to soak in it, because it's my job. And I'm watching, okay, what's the dynamics of our church? How should we function? Those kind of things. And then what I do, I think, okay, we should do this. And then I put it on the elders' table. And then they say, no way. I say that's from God. Or they say, all right, well, we can do this. This will actually work. So what it comes to is that if the elders are not bringing all these things to the table, I'm bringing them to the table and say, okay, this is where we want to go. This is what we want to do. And so in the context, it would be like, it's going to sound really weird, but I'd be spending a lot of the money. I don't spend it. I just put it on the table and say, where do you think? Where should we go? What should we do? What should we, take place in regards to that pieces? I had, with me, if I'm putting vision to the money, then I don't sign anything. So in other words, I'm not a signer on anything. Somebody called me and says, all right, hey, we need to sign for something that's over on our land. I'm like, well, you're talking to the wrong guy because I don't sign anything. And we use that for protection. In other words, if I'm spending a lot of money, say, hey, this is where the direction of the money I think should go, then and the elders affirm it, then we've got to have a different step that keeps me away from it. And then allows them to, and we just do this, for the integrity of their system, is to have a signer that they're going through two different categories. So it would be pastorally led, elder affirmed. It's the dynamics of that is that almost everybody that is out there doesn't get paid anything is ever the case. We believe that authority is only earned from people. And so somebody actually has to say, I want to grant you the authority in regards to moving. And so that dynamic there is inner bones at JBC that puts staff praying, that puts staff bringing people into corporate prayer, praying together, walking together, working together, functioning together to say what is right, what is wrong, what is not right, what is good, what is healthy, and in those things. And all of a sudden, if that is what's taking place, we are just going. And what's happening is that we're working as a unit as we move forward. If you have granted the authority to the church to move forward. The hardest part of the church is that, or in a church, is that when you run 100 people or you run 800 people, you have 100 minds in that church, or you have 800 minds in that church. 800 minds are always different. This is the way 5 people's minds are always can always be different. As a result of doing it this way, is unity has taken place through the years. Saying we're going, and we are the kingdom of God, and that's what we're working for. You want to be a part of it, of what's taking place here. You know what's taking place? Is there actually a major movement that is. And I believe that it's taken place is because as a result of the integrity of Pastor D through so many years, the commitment of Pastor D for so many years, the longevity of Pastor D for so many years, building in this system. And then when the transfer was given to me, then it's going to be, is there commitment? Is there integrity? Is there direction? Are people, this is the biggest transfer that ever took place in the history of Jefferson Baptist, because you're moving it from one to the other. And the question comes up, what is my longevity? Should I be invested into? Am I working with in those kind of things? I see that what took place in Pastor D. And as a result, I'm like, integrity has to be there. The people have to be there. The connections have to be there. The vision has to be there. The word of God has to be there. The mission has to be there. And putting it on the table, what is everybody going to do with it when we listen to it? Are they going to follow, or are they because it's right, or are they not because it's wrong? We consistently say pray for the pastor, and we're begging you to consistently pray for the pastor. Pray for me. Pray for our pastors. As decisions are made. Pray for our elders as decisions are made, because they're making decisions going, okay, I think this is good. I don't think this is good. What's taking place? What's not taking place? Those things are important to think about. Are people moving? Are people coming? Here's if you look on your notes here, just wanted to show a couple things that are taking place in 2025. Oh, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. 2025. This just shows the attendance that is out there. We do count. Just let you know that we count everybody in the back, and we go to children's ministry, count everybody that is there. And the reason why is because we do want to track the number of people that are numbers were lower in 2024 in the spring, yet higher in the fall than 2025. So you'll just kind of see where it goes, and also you'll see that fluctuation that takes place. We just want to put that in front of you. The other thing we did want to put in front of you, actually we don't want to put it in front of you, but it's on the screen, is the other thing we do count is we do count our money, and of course we better count our money. So this is the budget that is taking place. You'll see 2000, I'm looking there, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 22, 23. You see 2024 that came in, I think it was, in 2024 was $1,777,000. And then 2025 was down a little bit, $1,665,000, $1,600,000. These are big figures. I don't know, $1,600,000, something like that, dollars. But there's the point there. So we do look at these numbers and say, okay, where are we at as a church? Are we growing? Are we not growing? Are we stagnated? Are we not stagnated? Is it a consistent growth? Is it a slow growth? Is it a fast growth? Is it not a fast growth? What are we doing in regards to that? So those are kind of our figures that are out there. In our notes, you look at 2023. You're going to say, it was 2025 that took place. That is correct. It was 2025. That was last year, not 2023. I just want to make the statement that 2023 was a year where a lot of things changed. In regards to things that were changed is that consistent growth made a consistent savings account, and then also made a consistent staff hirings and multiplying staff in those things. And we got a larger savings account, and then I'll say that 2023 that our savings account was getting big, and then there was $1 million check that actually was put in as well. And so you have a large savings account, and you have $1 million that was put in. In 2023, it's like, okay, we got to put vision, to the money of where we're going in the direction to where it is taking place. That is when they asked me to put the vision to the money. Where's the church going to be at the next 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 10 years? Where are we going to go as a church? And so in 2023, I wrote this. This is actually exactly what I wrote in 2023, and I put it on the table. So, all right, here, this is kind of the direction I'd like to get done to go in regards to the body, in regards to the money. The first one that was on the list is purchase the land, and you'll see a question mark that takes place there. When I talk about purchase the land, you'll see that on the back of the page. You'll see that the land that is next to us. I just want to give you a little bit of story about this land before we even talk about the purchase of the land. Is that we desperately, I'm going to speak for Dee, and I'm going to speak for myself, is we want God to run His church, and we celebrate God when He runs His church, because He does things in a way that's like, I believe that just happened. It's like, I cannot believe the responsibility that's given to us. I cannot believe what we just received. I cannot believe what we got. We have had that for 50 years. We have never gone into debt. This is speaking of Pastor D. It was his mission at the very start. We started with that back chapel there, and what we ended up doing is and it's not we, he and the church, Jefferson Baptist, is building that chapel with no loans at all. And as the church continued to grow, the building continued to grow. Offices were then established. And then after they were growing out of that, they built the gym. Again, it took 10 years to build the gym. And the reason why is because there's no loans that take place. We build when there's only money that comes in. If there's money that comes in on a special offering, we put it into the building and it would build. So that ended up getting completed with no loans. And then as the vision continues, it's like, okay, now let's build a sanctuary. I remember when this sanctuary was being built, I was not here, but I thought Jefferson Baptist Church was nuts. And the reason why is because they started things and they never finished things. That was in my mind because Jefferson Baptist, they put this whole foundation in and they put the walls in and it'd be like 1 year passed, 2 years passed. Like, are they ever going to finish? Are they ever going to finish that building? I had no idea how Jefferson Baptist works. We only spend what comes in. So it took 10 years to build this building because we didn't go into debt with it. And so after 10 years and the money came in every single year, this building was built, no loans at all. Money would come in and then the building built through that offering. After this building was complete, we're thinking, okay, well, what we need now is the next piece of our land is to go to the discipleship center. And then in the process of, I think it was another 8 years, the discipleship center started slowly to get built. One thing we've always had a problem with is our parking. I'll just be honest with you, is that we have more seats in here than our parking. And Pastor D has always looked at that land, and he's actually always prayed for the land. If I could just get into these fields, we do need to know that parking spot that we have right there was not ours. So when D was praying for it, asking God for it, that was not in our piece. After the DC building was completed, for some reason, I just like to talk about God. God says, I'm going to give you enough parking spot for you to make sure your parking is managed. As our church was growing for what it was growing for. Because Pastor D was told his whole life during the process, you will never have a piece of this land, which is, those fields. You look at the fields like, we'd love to park in the fields. We've had activities that are big enough. If we could just park out in the fields, like, no, you will never touch a piece of this land. And that's the way that we were always, going with it. But we had bad neighbors. They own that piece that's in the corner, and they rented it out, and they rented it out to some people that had issues with drugs, we'll put it that way, had issues with stealing things from the church, had issues with probably most likely the ones that would spike the church van and take all the gasoline on a consistent basis. And we always said, God, why would you give us people with so many issues that are right next door to us? Why are our neighbors so difficult? And God, why would you do such a thing? They ended up believing, and when they left, that place was completely trashed. That house was completely trashed. The owner of the entire park and that house gave us a call and says, I want this land gone. I'll give you 3 acres right here. They called us and said, okay, well, if we take it, we'll definitely want it cheap. We bought it for like $100,000, like really cheap, at this piece right here. And all of a sudden, we got it. You're talking 5 years ago, the land we should have never had. And we got it just in time for us to grow in such a way that it allowed that parking lot to be there, for the parking to be able to take place where we can hold the numbers. And then in 2023, I'm like, let's bring this up again. What is going on over there? Because the person that owned it lived in California. And would that person ever want to sell it? Just in case, we get too big for where we're at. Because I'll just be honest with you, we're done where we're at. We are done. We've got concrete everywhere. And the response was, no, probably no way. We've been praying for that for years. We called them and said, yeah, we might consider it. The person that owned it was on hospice, and we were talking to their children and says, yeah, we definitely want to do this. This was taking place in 2023. And through the process, they wanted to financially wait until the mother actually passed away before that land was transferred over. So there was a 2023, 2024, 2025. Are we going to get it? Are we not going to get it? We can't really tell the church about it, not tell the church about it. Is God going to grant it to us? Is God not going to grant it to us? If God does grant it to us, why would he grant it to us unless he wants to do something over there? And then all of a sudden the work started to come, and 2025, the deal got settled. And it only happened, the process at the top of 2025, and then in September 2025, then that it was done. We ended up paying $1.75 million for the land. We did not go into debt at all in regards to that land being purchased. But then in the process of that land being purchased, you were thinking, what are we going to do with it? That's a good question. I'm just kidding. I've got ideas. But I'll tell you what takes place is that every time we have had something empty, God seemed to have filled it. So that land scares me, just to let you know. What's going to happen? I mean, because we really don't go, our hands can do something here. Most by the way that we receive things, it's like, we've got a lot of empty space now. What's God going to do? We hold it to that. He can do anything to it. Or he might not choose to do anything with it and those kind of things. But we did feel like it was a purchase that if it happened, the funding was there exact time that it should be there. The timing was the exact time. And all of a sudden it was given to us. And then we purchase it. It's like, okay, what's God going to do with it? In the process of asking the question what God's going to do with it, of course there's going to be planning. So in other words, planning on what we're looking at in those things. Here's a picture right here that just kind of shows a little piece. The white part down in that left-hand corner is where we're at, sanctuary, in those things. And then you'll see a road that has taken place there. And I have a picture that we could even kind of look at in regards to the pieces of that land. People ask the question, why did you buy the trailer park? And the question is because we had no choice. You buy all or nothing. That's where it was at. So if you look at the line, I tried to draw a black line around the pieces of the land. The land is 23 acres, and our piece is like 7 acres. I believe that the piece of the trailer park is about acres of it. If you look at our road that comes in, we have a road that comes in right into the access of 99. What we do is we look at the greatest areas of weakness in our church. You know, where's the greatest needs in our church? One thing that is a need that takes place mostly in the future, because we're right there right now, but if we grow anymore, we're really actually going to be tying ourselves in a knot. And what that is that's our access to Highway 99. We have one access that we get in 99. With that one access, we are not allowed to expand a third lane in that access. We can't have a right-hand turn and then a middle and then a left. There's not enough room in that access. So that access is a bottlenecked access. And anybody that comes in, you guys can notice that when we're going from service to service, that the congestion can easily take place there. Well, what we're dreaming of, and I would just honestly say expecting to take place, is growth that happens. And one of the main reasons this land was really important to us, if growth is going to take place, we need access to Highway 99. If we bought the land, we could shoot a road right across the field and move right into that other access into Highway 99. So looking at the future, this is just kind of giving us the bones of the future of where we would like to see. You see the parking lot there that is white. We'd like to see possibly the road being moved onto the other side of that, which would be the entryway of the church. That allows us so much, it'll stop so many people from walking across. We're driving in and people are walking across in the congestion that is taking place over there. And it would also give us a straight line to get all the way back into the back piece of the land. So then that would give us access it would be the north side of 99, because we'd be able to drive all the way back, and then it would give us access on the middle piece of our land. Access is one thing that is actually kind of pressure on us, is like, okay, we're getting congested. If we grow, congestion will continue to take place. I will tell you the other place that is extremely congested and also busting at the seams is in our children's ministry. What's taking place in our children's ministry is that we just removed the youth groups from their rooms and say, you have to go to church, no more DC classes. And the reason why is because there was not enough room in there. Sherry, who's our leader, wants all the rooms. She says, we got too many kids. We're too crammed. It's absolutely too congested. The other area is the gym. This place does not only go on the weekends. This place is packed all the way through the entire week. And one area is that it's busting at the seam is Awana night. And Awana uses that gym, and they're over 200 people. And in that side of that gym, it's shoulder to shoulder, and it's actually not as functional. We will do men's breakfast, and it will creep at the edges of that gym. We will do weddings, and we had a wedding last year, so we said, you just need to rent a tent and go outside because our fire code won't let you in the gym because it's too small, because we have to go by all the fire codes in those things. So looking at that piece, that is the piece that actually is where it carries a lot of pressure. If you look at the map there, you'll see it's a drawing. The black pin is kind of the where I was drawing. Is that we're looking at possibly duplicating that on the other side of the gym that is there. What kind of project is that? It's a huge project, and I would also say is an expensive project. So we ask the question: are we going to go to debt? The answer is going to be no. Where are we going to get the money for that? We are working on that, and I can't just come right out and say it because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but we don't want to be landlords. We'll put it that way. And so the division between the trailer park and then also that land that is there is presently in the works of being divided. Our church 501c3 will be located with that, and then the fields. So that is what is in the works. That's what is taking place there. This will allow us, if we do grow, it will allow us to put a parking lot on the other side. It will allow us to put a field. Now you do have this. This is yeah, here we go. Now I can talk with this. Somebody brought this up. Thank you, Josiah, for bringing this up. This is the way I should have been talking right here. All right, so this is the road right here that I was looking at, just getting a base right here. What we would be able to do is we'd have an exit point here, and we'd also have an entry and exit point that would take place here that would be in the future. We could do this really fast, and it will cost money, but if there's growth, there will be congestion pretty fast. So what we could do is just leave this the way it is, and then shoot a road right across, and this will allow us to come in and out of here, allow all these people right here to just exit right out here, and then the congestion will not happen there. The building that I was talking about is the building that is taking place right here. We need to remove these buildings, or this little piece here, because we don't want to put any construction on top of construction because of codes and permits and yada, yada, yada. This is the playground that is here right now. And if we build this, we can have a larger gym area, and we'd circle the classrooms all the way around like so, for the purpose of giving us classrooms. This is the most prime real estate, I will say, in our piece of land. And the reason why it's such a prime real estate is because it's close to the sanctuary. You cannot send our kids back here. You cannot send your kids over here, and you cannot send your kids over here. It does not work. So people say, well, just build a new building. Where are you going to build a building? Right here? No, it's too far back for kids. So this is the real estate that we want for our kids ministry, and so on and so forth. And this will allow us to also build a field here. It will allow us to put this into a field as well. When it comes to building kids program, it gives us twofold. And the reason why is because we have a school. I'll just let you know that we have a co-op that takes place, and they consume this entire building on a Monday. I don't know how many, 160, 200 kids just consume the whole building in regards to classrooms. Then we have a school Tuesday through Friday, and they're going clear to the third grade. And every year they're saying, are you going to give us the fourth grade? Are you going to give us the fifth grade? Give us another year, give us another year, give us another year. So if we make these into classrooms for our church, it will also allow them to have schoolrooms to increase and to build our school. So all the rooms that we have are used, this building, church is used 7 days a week. So then we could put the kids there, we could put our school there. Our prayer, we don't know. God gave us the land. But our prayer is that that's too small and that we have to move the school back here. That would be our prayer, is that we can build something that's going to take place here and do all the construction that takes place there. God will need to provide the finances. God will need to provide the vision. God will need to provide the people. God will need to provide all those things. But for some reason, God gave us the land. And, I'm just praying that will be in our future as well. And then, of course, you dream. You got these pieces here, these pieces here. I'd like to even grow out of a sanctuary. This is kind of what you do. If you do, it could be a connection right here. Right here would be a connection to the sanctuary and also the school, and then also parking lot will be all the way around here. So we do believe that God gave us the land, and we don't know exactly what He wants to do with it. but he's got to do some different things to make us kind of move into it. First thing in 2023 is let's talk about this land. All of a sudden we got it. The other thing we put down is that a hire full-time executive pastor. That's when Rich Siebens was hired, and Rich Siebens he's an elder in our church, and I hired him for the executive, and then he moved on. He's no longer the executive pastor. We moved Mike into that position, and now Rich is doing full-time counseling out of our offices there. Which I should explain that is that through that process, we have counselors that work out of our building that do not tax the church at all in regards to money. We do not pay them, is what I mean by tax. They work out of our building and bring counsel to people, and that's a huge ministry that's going out of that building, and Rich is a big piece of that. So Complete the Incomplete was put on paper. The Children's Chapel, this was in 2023. It has been completed. The flood barrier around the sanctuary, you guys notice that we flood every single year? Not every single year, but every once in a while this church will flood. The water will come clear up to the third seat that is here. This part of the church is lower than it should be. We're looking at possibly putting a barrier around, but we're also looking at it could be fixed without the barrier. And the way that it could be fixed without the barrier is you're going to see this field being drained probably really soon. One of our elders he drains fields for a living. He's a master at it. And they're already talking about getting this surveyed and bringing the water out here and then crossing 99 into somebody else's property and say, hey, we'll drain your field for free. Sorry, we're having to pay for it because that's the only way we get into it. And then we'll push into the other field to get that water going, get that water going west. We're hoping that takes care of our flood issue. And if it does take care of our flooding issue, then we would not have to put a barrier that is around. In 2023, and I just put this down here, and the reason why I'm going back to 2023 is because we're excited about it. Parking lot has been taking place. $400,000, $500,000 was given or paid for this parking lot. And that was because you guys are faithful into giving, and we took some from the general fund, made sure that was done. Covered light walkway between gym and then also the DC Center. If you look at the black is not complete yet. It's $6,000. We have to be careful connecting buildings because if we connect a building, all the codes have to be updated. So if we connect our gym to the DC, our gym now has to meet that code, which means we need to put an elevator in, we need to put a watering system in, we need to get those codes connected. So we didn't end up doing that. Security cameras, $10,000 roughly. We had them, we lost them. We had them, we lost them. We're still in the process. Bathroom stalls in the gym, in the bathroom. We also talked about fixing the broken. The sound system was purchased after 2023, $140,000 roughly. Fix the siding. The siding still needs to be fixed around here. Painting the buildings. It is our goal in 2026 to get these buildings painted. Roughly $6,000. It's going to be more than that. It would probably be $50,000 if we hired somebody to do it, but we try to paint ourselves. So we'll just be paying for the paint and do the paint ourselves as cheap as we possibly can. Some other big expenses that did come up. Septic tank was $250,000. We got a brand new septic tank. Nobody knows that the septic tank doesn't work until it backs up. And we were thinking that everybody was going to know that our septic tank did not work. And we were concerned about it. And we were like, oh boy, here comes another Sunday. Is it going to come out into the foyer? This just was not going to be a good scene. But don't worry, we paid $250,000 and we got a new septic tank. Roof for the gym was done and completed this year. That was coming out of our special offering as well. Just let you know that this roof that is on here, it is faded in color. And what you do every 6-8 years, the professionals come in and then get it shiny again. So we invited the professionals in to get it shiny again. And they said, it's too far gone. It faded, and it's not your fault. It's the manufacturer's fault. And so now we're in the works of talking to the manufacturers. We might be getting a brand new roof over with no expenses at all, and get that brand new roof again, so we can keep it updated in those. So we're talking to they're talking to the manufacturers right now to see if that is going to work. Bring up to date the outdated sanctuary refresh. We saw that take place last year. All that new that was in the foyer. And then also you saw it take place here. You got the carpet that took place here, carpet here. This year, the goal is to be removing the carpet and get these walls painted. If you notice that the carpet is removed, but the walls are not painted, sorry, I'm trying. we're looking at still in the process to try to get these walls painted. We want to get it done before Christmas, but we didn't get it done for Christmas. What we are probably going to do is bring the same color that's in the foyer and probably bring it in here. We are looking at little darker shades, but as you can see on the wall right there, the darker shades aren't going to work. we think they're too dark. So we're looking at just bringing the same color that was in the foyer and just bring them right here, and then put the trim back around and get this place looking good again. Youth Center, gym refresh, that is in the back area. This is 2023. We're probably not even there right now, because we're probably moving towards, if money came in, that we'd move towards not refreshing, but probably even construction and building and those things. And then build the new, expand the school courts, and then also the fields. So those are kind of the directions. On the last page, when we do talk about vision, the vision takes place in us. And when the Spirit is alive in us, God sends the body directions. God sends the church directions. And the goal, again, we see in our mission statement, what the drive is to make us whole, make us complete, make this a place where God's name is proclaimed and people do feel loved. And so what we really push for in regards to our vision of our church is to look at our people and say, how do we get involved? You come in the door, but once you come in the door, how do we get involved? And we just got a fast list there as we consistently push people towards this direction of getting involved. Base ministry for everyone. We just expecting everybody. I just want you to know that we don't have any members in our body. And the reason why is because we believe we're all members. If you come 3 times, we consider you a member. What we do is we push people out the door. If you push people out the door, you can't make them members and push them out the door at the same time. And what I mean by push people out the door, we tell them to go to the church that Dee's running down the street. We tell them to go to a church over in Talbot. We tell them to go to another church here. Somebody will come in and say, I go to your church, but I tithe at a different church. Is that okay? It's like, that's okay. We're all the kingdom of God. I come to church here, and I'm a pastor, and I'll come to Saturday night, and then I'll go preach at another church. It's like, that's fine. So what we do is we're just too organic, and so we don't have the membership because we push people out. But what we do are asking is that people would attend the services, people would be involved into prayer. The basic pieces get connected with men and women is a women's breakfast, a women's breakfast. Both those are taking place. The small groups is a deeper connection. The outreach ministries, they're all there for the purpose of just getting connected with people. We say, hey, let's go do a sportsman show. We want you to be able to connect with people that are there. Retreats, camps, recreational activities. We got marriage retreats. We got the Cannon Beach seminar that takes place in November. It's a great time, a great place to connect with people. Service ministries that are out there. There's like a next step to say, okay, we want to get people's teeth in as we're walking on this body. And those are just a step up. Whenever we work with kids ministries, it's going to take a little bit more, I would say, commitment, a little bit more questions, a little bit more scrutiny. What I mean by that is that you're going to have what do you call them? Background check. A background check to be able to do that. But it's kind of a step up working with our church. You got the children's ministry, you got the WANA, again, working with kids, you got the Royal Family Kids Camp, you got the Teen Reach Adventure Camps, Vacation Bible School, the Amend Camps, the JBC schools, the outreach ministries. We're drawing people in to work in those areas as well. And then the third step up is the leadership ministries. This is where we're really pointing. We're made to make disciples. Dee's leadership class is the source where disciples are made. And so we're encouraging people to go to the leadership class. And when you go to the leadership class, there's going to be a push. And what the push is going to be is to work with leaders to fill leadership gaps, to fill in teaching gaps, and also to start ministry. So it's even a step further for our growth and for our body. And as we're looking at this, is that we do believe that when we go towards God, God does bless us. How could we not? In the presence of God, there is fullness of joy. And so as we go towards him and he blesses us, and he does that as an entire body, as a unit, then the body moves, and the body moves aggressively. And really what it comes down to, even to our vision, is that we've got a lot of opportunity that's out there. Are we going to jump in and sink our teeth into the opportunity that is out there? So that's kind of where we're at. I did not want to go too long. I could open up for questions, but that might get really fast and crazy. It might keep us in here too long. So I'll be down here for any questions that you guys would have in regards to logistics on these pieces, okay? Let's close in order of prayer. God, thank you for responsibility. God, you do desire to put responsibility on people's shoulders. You do desire to put responsibility on your church. And we just pray, God, that you would see us worthy, God. See us as people that desire responsibility and is willing to manage it in a way that is pleasing to you. We ask, God, for protection on this body as responsibility is managed. And we ask you for strength in this body, God, as responsibility is pushed forward. Thank you, God, for the gift of relationship here. Thank you for the gift of unity, for the gift of this team, God, that functions in such a way, God, that is good, that is designed by you. What a gift this is. We love you.